We are back for another video with Data Zero. Listen, AMC potentially getting out of control, Trump pump day 2, GME potential bear flag. We're going to break all this down and more in this video. Let's hop in the charts, facts, data right now, showing you what's going on for today and the rest of this week. So the first thing you need to understand is obviously the Trump pump day 2. Now, we've got the pump from the ceasefire, but the ceasefire is potentially falling apart. So again, just keep your eye on oil prices. This is going to control what SPY continues to do and the overall general market continues to do. Now, I said in yesterday's video, AMC has been moving pretty independent, and today we were able to close green again. You guys can see we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green days in a row here on AMC. We also have broken outside of the bands, and we are now riding these bands to the upside. Now, I know this isn't a mega squeeze. I know it isn't a mega pump, but regardless of what you think, we are still going parabolic. We managed to make a huge straight up move, and we are now riding the bands to the upside. So we are gamma squeezing / technical breakout pushing to the upside right now, which could gain more momentum. Let's say FOMO kicks in. Let's say we get to that $1.50 level. Gamma kicks in. People start buying, and then shorts have to start covering. Things could get out of control, creating a feedback loop, giving you the ingredients to a much bigger move. This is the start of something. It could get fizzled out. Right now, they are dumping a lot of shares, but AMC's been really resilient, and it's not doom and gloom on that because a lot of people think they can just pull shares out of thin air. That is not the case. What we are seeing here is cost to borrow is rising, and they've been dumping shares a lot, and that has made cost to borrow spike. So this means that shares aren't that easy. Again, they're pretty relatively available if the cost to borrow the way it is, but they're becoming more scarce, and that's what you want to see, because if utilization goes up, that is also a major clue to a short squeeze and potential bigger move up. And if cost to borrow goes up, that's also an indication of a short squeeze or a bigger move up. And right now we are seeing cost to borrow at 1.24%. Now 1% is moving in the right direction, but we need to see 5, 10, 20, 50% realistically for things to get really out of control. But again, this is moving in the right direction, and because cost to borrow has been high, they haven't been able to get that many shares. Yes, they are getting a decent amount, but they're not getting millions and millions. You guys can see they had 950,000, then they dumped down to 0. Then they went up to 900,000, they dumped down to 300,000. Then they went up to 750,000, dumped to 300,000. They went up to 1.3 million and dumped down to 750,000 shares, which is what they currently have right now with the cost of borrow of 1.24%. GME is sitting on 2.5 million short shares. They've been having a lot more for GME, and cost of borrow is lower for GME at the current time, sitting at 0.39%. So shares are a little bit more available for them to dump, and this is part of the reason why I believe GME has been being pushed down. GME is also in a massive bear flag. Again, I really don't like to be bearish on the meme stocks, but right now I think GME is clearly setting up for a move to come down to fill these gap fills on the daily time frame, which I've been telling you guys about for a long time. We talked about it on stream first, so make sure you guys like and subscribe to get this information as it does become available, and make sure you guys watch the live streams. But we have 2 gap fills to the downside here on GME, one at 22.05 and 221 at 94, and then the other one is at 21.34 down to about 21.25. I believe what we are doing is setting up to come down and fill these gaps. You guys can see we're below the blue medium line here on the daily time frame. That's a 20 moving average on the Bollinger Bands. We're using that as resistance. Bands are getting tight, which means a big move is coming. We also have a macro bear flag as we are moving down, has this bearish consolidation after the breakout of the falling wedge. So we did get a pop to the upside of the falling wedge, which I did call, but right now we are forming a bear flag, and we are breaking down out of it currently with a bearish gravestone doji on the daily time frame. All indications that we are about to see even more downside for GME. So unfortunately, I think GME is coming down to fill those gaps. Gap fills are those targets from the breakdown of the bear flag. I hate to be the bearer of bearish news, but I have to tell you guys what the charts are telling me. That way you guys can best position and move the way you need to move. Now, AMC looks like it is going to continue to the upside. We actually saw a slight green day, and we saw a bullish consolidation holding above 130. Now, we did hit a new high of 140. We have sell orders for AMC. Again, they are going to fight tooth and nail to try to keep AMC down. They're going to be using short shares. They're going to be using dark pool. They're going to be using algorithmic trading, anything they can use to try to keep AMC down. And of course, they're going to be using sell orders as well. And we actually hit some sell orders today here on AMC, and that's kind of why we saw a rejection. You guys can see those sell orders start at about 135 all the way up to 145. They do not want us over 150 because that's where things really become critical. Calls go into money and things could get out of control. It's a major psychological level as well. So that's what we are looking for to try to get above. Now, if this does happen tomorrow's going to be a really big day. If this does happen tomorrow, you could definitely see a big push to the upside. But what we really want to see from AMC tomorrow is a break above 135. If we can hold that, we could move towards 137 or 140. If we can break and hold 140, that would be a long shot. We could potentially push to 150 very, very quickly. But tomorrow's goal for AMC is to try to hold 135. We do have 2 gap fills to the downside. We did come down a little bit. But did not fill those gaps because we've been having so much momentum here on AMC. The gap fill starts at about 128, and there's that gap fill there, and then there's another gap fill at about 113 to 112. So just be aware of that. And RSI is overbought on the daily time frame, but it did cool down a little bit because we had this consolidation. Bands are tightening up, so if we continue to consolidate and hold these levels, we could see a push to the upside towards that 150. So this is what we're looking at. Shorts are trying to short us down. We want to keep momentum going. As long as we keep consolidating above the key level of 125, you're going to see a push towards 150, and that's where things get crazy. Unfortunately, I think GME has some downside going to fill those gaps, but then we should be able to return back to the upside, finding a bottom. I don't think it's doom and gloom, especially if AMC starts to run. So this is what we're looking at for the meme stocks. Let's go ahead and move into SPY and the over market, show you guys what's going on there, and then we'll move into BTC and crypto. So right now, SPY's RSI is extremely hot. We saw another continuation to the upside. So we had this big push up yesterday or the previous trading day with the Trump pump, and then we had this consolidation, and as you guys can see, we had a nice breakout and push to the upside off of that. Also, we did break above the sloping support and resistance, which I did tell you guys was going to have us see a decent recovery here on SPY, and this is exactly what we're seeing here on the macro. Now, I did explain because everything going on and potentially the ceasefire is coming apart. If you see this start to crumble and fall, you're going to see an immediate reaction in the market. So be ready for that. Right now, we are rallying. But overall, I think this is just kind of like a relief rally before we see more downside. We created a massive gap here on SPY to the downside here on the daily time frame. So I think what we're going to see ultimately is SPY push a little bit higher, but then start to dump down. Now, as far as tomorrow is concerned, I think we're going to pull back here a little bit in the morning. Keep an eye on oil prices. Anything over 100 would be bearish. 110, 115, extremely bearish. Right now, they're at 98, 92. You want to keep an eye on this WTI crude, which you can see here on oilprices.com. And of course, you can check on the news as well. But if you don't want to look into everything, just keep on oil prices. But if you see the ceasefire come apart, there's going to see immediate reaction. Oil prices will go up, and that will be bearish for SPY. We also have major data drops in the morning. So we had core PCE today, GDP and personal income and personal spending month over month. Tomorrow, we have core inflation year over year and month over month, and then we have inflation year over year and month over month, and we also have Michigan consumer sentiment. All of those happen at 8:30 a.m. and then Michigan consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. So watch for these right in the morning. They do look like they're going to come out bearish. It looks like all the numbers are going to come out hot, so that's going to be potentially bearish. And this is why I think for SPY we could see a drawdown in the morning, something similar to that. So I think we're going to see a drawdown in the morning, something similar to what we saw today, and then potentially find a bottom from there, and then be able to push to the upside, probably topping out and then starting to fade into the afternoon if I were to make a guess, but I will be live and potentially live trading as well. So make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe if you are interested in that and you want to see all of this information as it does become available. If SPY is able to break above 679.98, you could see a push towards 680.62, and if it breaks above that, you could see a push to 681.58, but we have major resistance at 682, so do be aware of that, and that could be a potential top if we do start to rally up. So this is what we're looking at for SPY in the overall market. Let's go ahead and move into BTC crypto, show you guys what's going on there. So XRP's actually been doing pretty good. As you guys can see, we also have this macro falling wedge. You want to see BTC push up because, again, Bitcoin dominance is so high that it is going to be controlling the market. Bitcoin dominance sitting at 57%. Right now, crypto fear and greed sitting at 14, so we're still in extreme fear. Obviously, you want to be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful, so extreme fear to me means buy. Now, there's a lot of people that are like perma bulls on BTC that we are seeing turn into bears. So potentially a sign of a bottom. A lot of people are bearish. A lot of people thinking we're absolutely going to crash here on BTC. The fractal says we're going to have a decent rally to the upside, but then we would crash down after this rally to the upside. So you guys can see we actually are tracking very, very good with the fractal. This is where I believe we are right here, this consolidation phase where before we push to the upside even more. If the fractal were to continue though, we do drop down, going to a deeper bear market, but from there we rip up to new all-time highs. So if we were to drop down, and again, this is the macro, I would be buying down there, potentially taking profits from anyone who bought down here as well. But the fractal overall is tracking. We're breaking out of this overall macro accumulation. So overall, in the short term, I'm bullish. I think we're actually bottoming. This is almost even looking like a little bit, not a huge, but potential double bottom, especially if we're able to get back above like 76,000, 77,000. You could definitely see a pop to the upside towards 80, 85K here for BTC. So I think we're going to be moving up here for Bitcoin. I think we're going to be seeing a little bit of recovery rally from the overall downtrend that we've been in since the overall peak. And when we do get that recovery rally, we're going to see altcoins like Ethereum and XRP push up. You guys can see Ethereum currently tracking with my macro prediction and XRP as well. But this is pretty much everything we're looking at for stocks and crypto. If you guys watched the end of the video, thank you so much. Hit that like button, subscribe. Also give me a follow on Twitch as well. We've been going absolutely crazy. We're at 110 subs now and 100 plus followers. So thank you everybody who's been participating and helping with that. But if you don't want to do any of that, make sure you do this. Most of all, make sure you have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.